Hi, and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben, and this is my review for Wolf King Season 2. It's going to be a bit of a mixed bag review because I'm talking about how great the animation is. If you've seen my first review for the first season, then you kind of know what you're in for, but with some caveats. So let's jump in. So there's 8 episodes. They're about 20 minutes apiece. The animation is very much like what you had in the first season. It's very much like the Dragon Prince, mixed in with a little bit of some of what we've seen in Spider-Man animation series at the moment, where it feels slightly stop motion, but it isn't that. It's very artistic and it looks pretty. When we get those fighting sequences, they have done a really great job. The animation studio, however, no longer exists because Netflix shut them down. This is based on a bunch of much-loved novels, or graphic novels, depending on where you've read them or how you read them. And so has its set base of fans that like it because they're finally getting to see this represented on screen in Netflix and hopefully, garner a bigger audience. And season 1 left us off with a bit of a cliffhanger, but there was a much contained storyline for season 1. In season 2, apparently season 2 is the final season. Now, let me just say that the story is really fun, and it is basically a rescue mission as well as our Wolfly King trying to deal with what it means to have royalty in his blood, but he wants to rule in a way that is very different to what the royals normally do. He wants to be an active king. And so we have that in a mixed with a rescue mission, and those coming to terms with their were powers. The were lore here is a lot of fun because it's not just werewolves, we have were lions, were goats. It's a bunch of lore that makes this for a kind of a good helping for young teens to get into something a little bit more mystical, or not horror, but like dipping the toes into that. Unfortunately, the season 2 with the 8 episodes finishes on a massive cliffhanger. And apparently that's all there is. No more studio, no more episodes. I would love for this series to be picked up by another network. I doubt that's going to happen, but it's baffling to me because the way they finish this is kind of coming to grips with a certain storyline with the rescue mission that's sort of concluded, but where our characters are at the end of season 2 is all over the place, not together, very much up in the air. Huge cliffhanger. Like, there's been a few that Netflix have just cancelled and gone, yeah, no, sorry, we're not going to have any more of those. So if you've heard different, let me know. But as far as I'm aware, this has been cancelled, which is crazy because the journey that these characters go on is really kind of building to a moment. This feels like an Empire Strikes Back, and we're yet to have the Return of the Jedi. So if we get another season, massive if, then this would be a really great series. If not, the way it finishes puts a massive damper on it because I love the sort of kiddie friendly, family friendly, a little bit dark and not afraid to kill off characters, deal with some themes, very much youngsters sort of way of writing as well, because like they are very much youngsters, and so the way they react in certain circumstances for an adult watching, you might be going, yeah, this is too much of a kiddie friendly thing. I want something a little bit dark. If you are like me, however, and still a lost boy and love all things animation and want to look at what these animators are doing now and what they put out from a bunch of much loved books, then if you've seen the season 1, you're going to love season 2 because it is the same. But then you're going to hit that ending. You're going to be a bit disappointed. So the voice work is great. You'll recognize if you're one that picks up some like actors like, I know that voice. You'll recognize a few. There's some surprises in here. They all do a great work with the voice inflections, the growls and the gruffs, and then those lines that are, it's not the most clever writing in the world, but it does the job at portraying the story and showcasing the animation that they have fun with here. So much of the same. If it gets a third season, I would give this a 3.5 Nicolas Cage out of 5. If it doesn't, I'll probably go 1.5 because the ending is left so badly for the fans. I feel sorry for the massive fans in this one. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Who is your favorite character? I like the growth in some of the characters. I like some of the horror, like in kind of a zombie storyline or zombie magic. It gets darker in places. I love the tree jumping and wolf flying through the air. The abilities that they have are very cool. I would love to see more of where the lore would go in this. Do you recommend the books? How much more depth do they go into it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.